Yes. Have it ready.
Mm-hmm.
It always takes a second to show that it's live on YouTube.
Yeah.
It says we're streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's share it on the platforms. Wait a second until people start joining us. Everything right here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me post it on Facebook now. Okay, I think everything
I
is...
feel hiccups coming.
Oh God, here we go. I think everything is fine here. Hello, guys. Can you see and hear us okay? Let us know. Let me put it like here so we can see everything. Corey is there and Meg too. Hello. So nice to be here with you guys and with the lovely Alanna Heavenly.
Hi, everyone.
Such
Happy
a pleasure.
Friday.
Yes.
Yeah,
Such a
so
pleasure
happy
to
to be
have you
here.
here. And we're going to be channeling Kalima and Isis. Alanna is going to do Kalima and I'm going to do Isis. And Flav is going to facilitate for the both of us. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So do you want to introduce yourself, Alanna, and where people can find you?
Sure. My name is Alanna, and my website is alanaheavenly.com. I'm a channeler and a healing facilitator as well. I do soul coaching and all that fun stuff. So you can find me on Instagram and YouTube under the name Alanna Heavenly. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me into your space. I appreciate it.
We always felt this connection with you whenever you were live with Pamela, and when you said that you were starting to do this too and going live, I'm like, oh, we should do it together because that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yes. So we already have some questions on Patreon and some questions on Facebook, and we are open here too for questions on if you want to put them on chat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'll try my best to keep an eye on everything.
Yeah. Because Flav is multitasking like a boss now. Awesome. So I think everything sounds and look good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Is there anything either Isis or Kalima would like to say before we start with the questions?
It's like Isis just half entered my body and I'm kind of dizzy because her energy is just literally out of this world, right? So it's like she just did like this boom energy and my head was like, what's happening? And then I started seeing through her eyes. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I'm asking her.
For me, what Kalima is saying is she's talking about preparation, and the best thing that you can do to prepare for whatever is happening in your life is to trust and to learn how to be open. And that's through meditation, that's through any form of even active meditation that keeps you clear, that keeps your mind clear and at ease, is how you can prepare for all of the changes that are happening in this world right now. And not just the changes that are happening within your own little atmosphere, she's saying, but even like on the other side of the world, things are shaking up and it is very easy to get triggered and fearful in that state. And the preparation that we can do is to learn how to be open and clear and more in touch with ourselves more than ever.
That's lovely. I love that. And I think it's interesting that she talks about preparation and how things are shifting. Yesterday I was in session and Isis was clarifying some stuff for us that made a lot of sense. In the past few days, I think a few weeks, they've been talking about how things have been really activating us, our etheric DNA and even our physical DNA, with all those portals and all those things that we create for ourselves and all of those roles within the dream that we create. And the collective has such a strong belief that somehow we are all here to help stabilize the energies. So it's one of the roles of a light worker, for example, to be this antenna for energies and to really help anchor those energies on earth for everyone, for all of the collectives, let's say, for the human collective. And a lot of people felt it very harshly in their bodies because the body needs some time to adjust to that new energy, to that new wave of energy. And a lot of clients, they were talking about that and how they felt like this. It was like the first 2 weeks of the month, of the year, I mean, yeah, the month, because we're still in the first month. And people felt sick, and people are getting colds, and people are getting all kinds of things that even not only on the physical but the emotional and the mental. And they were explaining that we are feeling as if it's the awakening. You know, when you first get that first wave of awakening, that everything shifts, that everything moves, and it's open, but it freaks you out a little bit. We are having she's saying that we could call it a post-traumatic remembrance of that, you know, of that shift, because we as antennas, we are helping the collective go through that shift, you know, with the beginning of this year and beginning of new energies and new beliefs also. So it's triggering those things in us. It's like that remembers that, oh my God, what is it? And then the mind goes places and the heart goes places and the body feels all sorts of out of place. So she was talking a little bit about that and how the best thing is breathing and honoring the body. So if the body feels tired, just let the body rest. And if your mind is going crazy, just do a meditation and center and be present with yourself, because she's saying it's very important to understand that you're not walking backwards. And that's what a lot of people have been feeling, she says. It's like when you start having those waves again and your body is wired to be triggered. You know, she's saying that we can improve that if we want to, with meditation, with breathing techniques. But that's something that the body does. The body is wired to be triggered by emotions. And whenever those flushes come and those emotions come, we go back to that thing. So she's saying that no one is walking backwards. There's no such thing as reversing whatever it is that you think that you learned, or you are remembering God within. But anyway, so she's saying that it's very important to be kind to yourself right now, to have compassion for yourself.
And speaking of the body, Kalima is saying that your body is more important than ever, and it's very important to feel at home within your body. And I think us as light workers, we're so used to being up in the clouds, you know, and it's very important to find a home within body, mind, and spirit. All three are important, but right now more than ever, learning to be in your body, learning to listen to your body's cues, because if you don't, then she's saying like you'll feel wiped out completely, like you'll feel completely obliterated, is what she's saying. And she showed me the view of like this apple and the seeds inside of it and consuming the seeds. And when it's like, it's a comparison to rooting yourself, rooting yourself into she's saying rooting yourself into yourself. Like you are your own stability, and your body is your palace. It is your she's saying pleasure zone. It is your treasure. It's a safe haven for you. And if you don't know how to take care of it, it's time to start learning. It's something that we can't really avoid for much longer.
Yes, that's lovely. I love that. And they've been talking a lot about that too. It's how important it is to love and honor the body and to fully experience the body. Isis talks a lot about that too. It's a tool that you gave to yourself so you could be having an experience on earth right now. So let's say that we're not supposed to be on the clouds all the time. You know, we are supposed to feel on the clouds within this vessel and take care and love the vessel. I love that. Should we go for the first question?
Yes. So the first one we have is from Alanna. She asks, why dogs like to attack me and how to make friends with them? If they need me to be firm with them, what exactly should I communicate to dogs? I'm asking because Isis is told to be friends with Anubis.
That's funny. How can she make friends with dogs?
Yes.
Isis is saying, look through the eyes of oneness. If the dog is you, how is this other you? How is this you in another form giving you a message? She's saying it's the same thing as when your body is trying to tell you something. For example, you've been working a lot and you're overworking yourself and you're not resting, your body will get a flu. So you are obligated to lay down and chill. So she's saying, what is that animal telling you in oneness within you and that other God that is you? What are they trying to communicate in your awareness right now?
Next question we have from Ludmila. What are the benefits for embodying the aspects of Isis and Kalima within us? And how can we actually embody those two aspects?
There's so many examples of false masculinity and femininity out there. And what Kali Ma represents is that you can be fierce, passionate, quiet, loud, all of the above. There is no definition. And so it's really important that you embody your essence and embrace what it is that you have inside of you instead of taking another person's definition of what femininity is.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Let me see if Isis has anything she wants to add. Can you read the question again?
Yes. What are the benefits for embodying the aspect of Isis and Kalima within us? And how can we actually embody these two aspects?
She says that everyone has a piece of them inside. It's just a matter of how aware you are of them. And she's saying that humans have such a thing for benefits. What does it bring me? What can I gain from it? And she's saying that that's not the point. The point is how you feel, not how much you receive, but how much you give to yourself in whatever embodiment you're choosing right now. And she's saying that there is no difference between herself and Kalima and you and me and Alanna and Flavia. We are just different spectrums of God living within different vessels. Things that in our perception, they seem separated. But in truth, we are all one. So she's saying that in agreement with what Kalima just said, how do you feel in our presence? If you want to see us as a being separated from you, or if you want to feel us within your heart, how does it feel? And how do you embrace that in your reality? If that's something that you want to do, like to connect with her, is what she's saying. If that's something that, because sometimes people ask, like, how can I best connect with them? I think that that's something else that she's answering. She's saying that people ask that already. And she's saying that by connecting with your heart and allowing that piece of her that is you to show up and to just be whatever it is without expectations. So that's why they will not give you an answer. I feel like it's like, oh, we will express only like this or that, you know. It's because it's different for each one of us.
Another interesting point, she's saying that what you admire in Kalima and Isis, what is it that you're suppressing inside of yourself? What piece of you that you admire in these beings that you are muting, are hiding from yourself?
Exactly.
Yes.
And also, if you are seeing that, it is in you already. You would only be able to perceive it if it's within you already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's take one Facebook question from Marisol. Question for Isis. You gifted me the Ankh in a vision long ago. What is it I am meant to use for? Myself or to heal my clients?
They're not big with meanings, because she's saying that we create a meaning that serves us the best at that time. So when you had a vision, it served you for that purpose. If you keep remembering it, it's something that is still within you and it's still serving you. So how is it serving you in the now? She's saying, if it's for you, if it's for someone else, there is no one else. That we are all one, but it's still, we perceive them as being different. So she's saying that it represents so many things and it's always very, very particular. For her, she said that she used to use the Ankh for a physical representation of eternal life and understanding that we never die, and that the energy within us is infinite and there's always a flow of energy. So the way that she makes me feel is like you can use that symbol as like your sacred symbol, and it will represent flow for you. So whenever you're doing like something for a client, you don't feel drained, because that can be a physical manifestation for you of something that will show you that you are always on in this flow of energy. There is no limitations of energy, so you can never be drained. So I think that that's one of the ways that you could use that that symbol for yourself in your alchemy and whatever it is that you're doing with yourself and your clients. It's like Flavia has a waterfall.
Yeah.
So it's like a symbol of flow and connection.
As you were talking about it, my head was in the waterfall. Like, yeah. Next question.
Kalima wants to stress that you are your clients and your client is you.
Yeah.
Yes.
She wants to stress that there is no separation between them. Whatever comes up with your clients, that's something that you can also take a look at in your own life.
Exactly.
Yes, totally. Next question is from MC. She asks, I feel I'm in a plateau in my spiritual growth. How do I know where I am at? And how do I get to the next level or to the next lesson in my journey?
I think that's you.
What she's showing me is a circle, a flat circle, and you're walking around this circle, and you're saying you're stopping and saying, okay, how am I progressing now? But it's a circle. There is no elevation. You're continuing to walk. You're continuing to discover new things on your path as well, and there's never a plateau. So I'd like for you to define what it is that, how you feel the plateau is coming into your life, and think about how it is serving you as well, because everything in your life is serving you. And perhaps this perceived plateau is the rest that you need. Perhaps this perceived plateau is actually the peak of a great awakening, is what she's saying. And you don't have any clue what the goodness that is about to come into your life. And if we all just took away the judgments of our daily lives and what we perceive to be happening, and instead observed and accepted and loved ourselves unconditionally without feeling like we need to do anything different, then that would make things much easier for us.
Yeah, we complicate everything, don't we, as humans?
I sure do.
I think we all do,
Yeah.
one way or another. Isis was saying basically the same thing, that maybe this perceived plateau is just a rest that you need and a door to another experience. And she was saying that sometimes we feel like it when we are not being creative, or when we are perceiving that we are not being creative. She's saying that every breath you take, you're being creative, because that's your nature. That's what God does. God creates. So she's saying that if you're bored, well, she's saying, first off, that's why you are on earth, because you were born. You were bored. She's saying when you're bored in your experience, just choose something else to create, if that's what you think that will help you. But most of the times it's just your body and God within you telling you that you need to chill. It's because I think that sometimes we feel like we need to be moving all the time, and whenever it is that something is still, we go like, oh my God, I'm not evolving, I'm not growing, what am I doing with my life? And I think that that happens a lot. It's like I see like a click shifting once we start fully living in the now, and we forget about the past and we forget about the future, and we live every day in the now. There are those moments of stillness that we are so not used to, that we go like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything. Because you're not, because you're just being. And she's saying you're a human being, you're not a human doing. So there's nothing wrong with just being.
You are talking about exactly what I've been going through the last few days. I went through, like, I did a lot like of deep energy work on myself. And then the next few days I've just been like chilling. And I was like, wait a second, I need to be doing something. And then I remind myself, oh, let's just relax.
Yeah, let's just chill.
Yes. I don't always need to be like on go, 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 go. Like there's also like, just slow pace, just.
Yeah, I think that it's like those peaks, and that sometimes we just peak so high that everything goes like, ooh, it's like a sugar high. When you go down, it's like you sleep for 11 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next question is from Hyen. She asks, what is Kali and Shiva's relationship in that life?
It's interesting. Okay. I'm removing myself from this. It's so what she's saying right now is she's saying like she's listing out all these different relationships, saying my sister, my brother, my like father, my mother, everything that I never had, everything that I've wanted, everything that I have in my life. And I'm trying to get her to get more clarity on that. So everything in her life and our lives, she's bringing up the reflection, and specifically a rainbow reflection, that there's a tint, like a little tint that everyone, a rainbow reflection tint is what she's saying. And everyone has a specific hue. And she wants me to say it again because I didn't say that clearly. Hue, Hue, like a specific color to them. And each color represents what aspects of ourselves we're working on. For example, she wants to bring up Ani. Ani represents this warrioress in my life who's completely open to her gifts and is unafraid and unabashedly like just out there and not timid. And that's an aspect of myself that I really admire. And on the other hand, there's an aspect of me that Ani also admires. So it's a reflection in that way. And Kalima is saying that she acknowledges that that may not be the direct answer that you were seeking, but this is how you can take a look at everyone in your life, every single person in your life, and determine what aspect of themselves do you even hate, what aspect do you love, and how can you pour that back into yourself? How can you fill whatever perceived holes, perceived gaps that you have within yourself, within your system, within your energy system, and love yourself and the people around you that way? She's saying, as Shiva being the great love of my life, that's what she's saying. And also there are other great loves of her lives. So it's everything and nothing at the same time. She says that a lot. She says, she makes a lot of comparisons like that. And I personally think that's beautiful. And I think that gives you the opportunity to also make your own beautiful interpretation as well, and allow your interpretation to change every day. So
I love that. I love her. How do you perceive her? How does she show up for you?
It's funny. She when I call her in, she comes up as like almost like Medusa like, green, and then just like snake's hair, but she like flows in flows into me. And I'm like, there she is. That's how I know. And like, I feel like so close to her that it's like we are one. Like she's
it's hard to perceive her outside of you, right?
Yeah.
And the way that it's like, do you hear her talking or it just comes?
It comes. Sometimes I hear her, but it's also like I hear like a word and then I just need to open my mouth and say it. Or to like keep repeating a word and then I'm like, okay,
exactly. They do that to me all the time too. Or they will repeat like a small sentence a lot until I speak, and then they just come and it flows.
Basically, I just need to open my mouth and not worry about what comes out of it.
Yeah, that's me too with Isis and with a lot of them. I've never really channeled Kalima, but she shows up sometimes, but she shows up more quiet, I'll say.
She's quiet. She speaks when she has a specific question. So
I don't think she's like talkative. She just shows up and starts talking. No, she was the same. He would just be like there, a presence there, but
when there's when there's something to say, she'll just say it like a cutthroat, like this is what it is, and and then she's like, I'm out.
It's just like so Lilith of her. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from Mary. She says, I was guided twice to go to Egypt, where we were allowed at that time to stay in King's Chamber for meditations. I know I had many powerful timelines there. How can I bring more healing modalities into this timeline? Connect to memories.
She is referring to what Kalimai started this live with, is trusting, because all of that knowledge, she's saying, as you call it, knowledge, it lives within yourselves, it lives within your DNA, and it's all there. You just need to become acquainted with the technology of trust and trusting the guidance that is coming to you, and knowing that even if it sounds weird, it's okay. Just be yourself. She's talking about authenticity and trust. So be your authentic self. However that information is coming to you, just pass it through and just trust that that information comes from God. And she's saying that whenever you have any hard time discerning between God and what you call your ego, the ego is the only one that speaks of fear. God speaks only love. So whenever you need to discern, just ask yourself, she's saying, place your hand on your heart, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this true? Is this my truth? And because the heart is not going to lie to you.
Yeah, and Kalima is saying that there's so much emphasis that people put on past lives, like what did I do 500 years ago, 10 years ago, and etc. When everything that is going on, everything that you need is happening in the now. Everything that you need, you have access to right now. So if there is a perceived issue that occurred when you were in Zimbabwe 5,000 years ago, it's going to manifest in your present life. That is why you're living in a body right now, because whatever lessons that come up for you, whatever it is that you need to learn, whatever it is that your God in a body says that they want to learn more about, will present itself to you presently. And there is no need to continue to seek out problems from the past when they will surely manifest in your present if needed.
Yeah, if it's relevant, if it's going to serve, it's going to show up some way or another, for sure.
Next question from Eva. She asks, what is Kalima's message for Twin Flame Collective at this time?
Oh, are you sure?
I love how that's a trigger for most of us. It always takes me a minute to just refocus, It's like, okay, let me get myself out of the way.
Okay. What is Kalima's message about twin flames?
Yeah.
Okay. She's saying her and me and him and you and all of these other people that are distractions in the way of you getting to know yourself. Why do you think someone appears in your life and then disappears and then reappears and then disappears, comes back in another form and shows themselves as possibly even 10 different beings, and you are still ignoring yourself, you're still ignoring your true divinity, you're still ignoring your own self-love and what you need in this life from yourself? Why do you continue to seek out love from other people when you're not even giving it to yourself? Why do you feel like you can continue to place all of your attention and affection on other beings and continue to starve yourself of the same love and affection that you believe that you need from these beings? Take a hard look at, sorry guys, I said, are you sure? I knew that she was gonna go on a tear.
Keep
Okay,
going.
yeah.
Take
It's
a
awesome.
hard look at yourselves, at your life, and see where your energy is going. Where are your thoughts going throughout the day? Are they continuing to go to another person, another aspect of yourself that you believe is not inside of you, another person that you believe has this love for you that you will never have for yourself? And why is it that you feel like you are undeserving of that love? Why do you feel like you cannot give yourself that love? Why are you continuing to give all this energy to something that is not even paying attention to you? It's important that everyone asks themselves this, and it doesn't matter if you call it a twin flame, soulmate, whatever. This goes for whoever it is in your life. And shifting your focus to yourselves, identifying what your true needs are, and actually saying, is this person serving me? Is this individual serving me? Am I serving myself? How can I serve myself more? Connecting with your body, saying, what do you need today? Do we need to move? Do we need to go to the park? Do we need to be out in nature? That is love. That is true love essence. Waking up every day and saying to yourself, I'm here to serve myself. I'm here to love myself. I'm here to nourish myself. And she's showing the apples again. She's saying, I'm here to eat more apples, to be one with nature, and to remind me of where I came from through the roots in this earth. And why do we continue to hurt ourselves? Why do we continue to use these mirrors to show us pain instead of love? Why do we continue to go into the past and try to recreate these loving moments that happened in the past instead of creating new moments for ourselves with the people who are currently in our lives? We're gonna stop that there because that was that was a lot.
I love it. And Isis was saying that by doing this, it's certain that you will find that individual that is in that frequency level that you call your twin flame. You meet them in another body. She's saying that that's the way you manifest your twin flame, by loving yourself, by doing all those amazing things that Kalima just said. If that's something that you feel like is in your path and something that will serve you and the other, quote unquote, other being at this time, you need to learn to love yourself and respect yourself as you love them, because they are just another you.
And ask yourself if, after reflecting upon who you are right now as a person and the relationship that you have with yourself, ask yourself if that is truly, if you truly want to see that reflected within another person.
Exactly.
That is exactly what you will get.
Exactly.
And that may not be something that you're necessarily ready for. But it will prepare you. Yeah.
They'll match your frequency exactly as you are. So whatever you feel about yourselves, how they feel, they think, and ask yourself if you're ready for it. Exactly. Yes, we're reading questions from YouTube and Patreon and Facebook. So if we didn't answer your question, just place them here again, please.
Yeah.
Because as the chat moves, sometimes it's kind of hard to keep up. So just ask it again, please.
Yes. Next question is from Carolina. She asks, I have dreams with snakes where I'm afraid or uncomfortable. They tend to happen when the people around me are not being sincere in real life. I get confirmations of that shortly afterwards. However, I would like to transmute these types of dreams so that I no longer feel discomfort around snakes and transform it to be a positive dream or symbol. Any insight from Isis or Kalima on snake symbolism?
Isis is saying that you give the meaning. She's saying that we only call a pen because we learned that it's called a pen. We only call the snake a snake because that's what you learned that it is. So where along the way did you start believing that they represent someone being unfaithful or insincere, not authentic? And by the universal law of reflection and the universal law of oneness, what are they showing about yourself? Do you feel like you can be yourself with those people? Do you feel like you can express yourself in your community, in your family, and wherever it is that you are expressing yourself right now? Do you feel like you can be authentic? How is this situation bringing light to you, and how it is serving you? She's saying that that's how is the most beneficial for us to look at any situation. Is this serving me? How is this serving me? And if not, how can I let this go? Or how can I just accept it, that it's part of my reality? And she's saying that sometimes it's not accepting the situation itself, it is accepting that the situation was created and forgiving ourselves for creating such situation that is not loving at the moment. So if it's not loving for you, you need to forgive yourself for creating it. Well, she's saying that only you know what you need to do. She's not one to tell you. But if it's something that you feel like would be right for you, forgiving and compassion, that's the thing that you should send for you and whoever else. And she's saying that everything in your reality, and she's doing like this, and she's showing me a mirror, and she's showing me like 1,000 mirrors. And let's say she's saying that behind the mirror there is the world, but the only thing that you can see is 1,000 you. So everything that you create, everything that is manifesting in your reality is a mirror of you. And sometimes that's something that it's hidden within you, that you are holding so tightly and hiding behind so much that you cannot perceive it as being you anymore, but it's still that is. And she's saying that I'm not saying it to bring guilt or shame. I'm saying it to show that you are everything that you see, all the things that you say that is bad and all the things that you think that is good. Again, those are labels that you chose. How do you see everything as love today? When you look in that mirror, when will you start seeing love in that mirror reflected back at you? Because that's the only thing that is true, she says.
And what Kalima is saying is to change your perception of the beautiful snake medicine that you're receiving in your dreams. And see that as a message, instead of seeing it as a negative or as a warning, see it as a beautiful relationship that you have with the snake. And it is literally medicine telling you about what's coming up within your life. And it's just a beautiful language that you have with these beings that you've created in your God mind.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because let's say in Egypt and alchemy, the snakes represent life and energy force. It represents the Sekhem, the sexual energy. We call it Kundalini too. So it has such beautiful connotations there. So if it helps you, maybe researching that, if you want to do it with the mind, I mean, just researching that, how all of those energies, that the snake is such a resilient being and powerful being. So maybe if it
Beautiful
helps.
protector as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and she's also saying, why do you want to push away one of your spirit animals, one of your spirit guides? It's like you're pushing away an aspect of yourself when it's time to embrace it.
Exactly.
We have a question for Kalima from Elizabeth. Kali, how do we love ourselves?
Well, we talked about this a lot already. Let's see if anything. Yeah, she feels like she answered the question earlier, in terms of the twin flame question as well. I don't feel anything additional that she needs to say.
Yeah, I think that the answer was very profound. So maybe watching it back and letting it sink in the heart, not with the mind, because all of those messages, when they give us, I feel like they have so many layers, and we will comprehend them as we are ready to. So just letting that first layer sink in, and just accepting what is your truth right now with whatever message was given.
What she's showing me right now was like a literal like crayon picture of a heart filled in with red and jumping into the heart.
That's cute.
Next question. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Neka, I guess.
How do you spell it?
Nneka.
Nneka.
Yeah, I think it's Neka. Probably not. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with names. She says, I'm curious about illustrations as I've been drawing or doodling a lot more lately. That's right. Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Good.
Got it.
Yeah. The question is, are the things or beings we draw that may seem like just silly drawings actually channelings? How can we use and interact with this art on a deeper level to support our expansion?
Kalima is saying, did you hear what I just said about the heart and coloring it in like a child with Crayola? That was a channeled message that's absolutely a silly kid drawing. Everything we do, think about everything that you're doing, everything that you're creating as channeling. And then how does that change your perception? How does that change the value you place upon what you're creating?
Exactly. And Isaac is saying that you are all as innocent as that child that is painting with a crayon. So how does that change your perception about yourself and everything else in your awareness? Your paintings, your drawings, your words. What if you decided that today everything that is coming out of you is an innocent expression of the divine? She's saying if you allow, it can blow your mind. If you think about it, it's like everything is innocent.
Yes.
She wants next. There's a question here. Sorry. There's something here that, here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. What are you
Never
doing?
mind. Don't mind me.
Okay. So the question is, Isis, well, is it? Yeah. How am I connected to you? And do you have a message for me? From Brandy.
She's showing me so many things. So she says, I see life through your eyes, and my wings are your wings. There are no limitations to you. So if you perceive me as a goddess, that goddess lives within you. There's no separation between me and you. We are part of the same sea of godness, of God, of love. And that's my message for you. Whatever you perceive with your physical eyes, whatever you perceive with your human mind, and whatever you feel with your God heart, that's you. There's nothing that is away or separated from you. And you can do all things. There's no limitations to you. And she keeps showing me her wings. It's like she manifested the wings and that she can fly. And she's saying that there are so many metaphors for that. And however that suits you, use that as a conduit for flow, she's saying, to allow that flow to be present.
Next question is from Christina. Question for Isis. Why does my heart race so much when I'm about to channel a being? Anything I can do to calm the body, surrender, and allow?
She's saying that it's just the body reacting to the energy. First thing, it's nothing wrong with it, she's saying. It's not that it's something that you need to change, you know? It's not something that you're doing wrong. She's saying that that's how I should put it because you understand it better. That's not something that you're doing wrong. She's saying that that's just the body, your body trying to adjust to that energy, to that flow of energy that you are becoming more aware of. So if you think about it, that energy is always there. It is always within you. And you're just accessing different points of yourself. So it's not like you are receiving something new, she says. It's something there. You are just becoming more aware of that energy. So sometimes the body just give you cues on, you know, how it feels with that energy in your body. She says that to calm the body, frequency management is what she's saying. So how the more you feel light in your emotions, in your mind, in your body, the lighter you feel, the easier it is for the body, she's saying. She's saying that everyone has a different reaction in the body for channeling and just becoming aware of those energies. I, for example, sometimes I feel my heart racing, goes like crazy and then it stops, or I feel very hot and then it stops, you know. Do you have anything like this, Alanna?
I feel like whooshes of energy all the time, and then I'll start to sway. But for me, I know that connecting with my inner child right before, and just Pamela has a great invocation in terms of doing a release for the inner child and just letting them know that they are safe, they are secure, they're okay, and just checking in and making sure that like you put them aside on like a playground somewhere. So that they're
it's like go chew. Let mama work.
So that may be something that would be good for you to do.
Yeah, she's talking about that now, how feeling safe in your body is important. So whatever practice that brings that feeling of safety to you, she's saying that we call it grounding too. That feeling safe, that feeling like centered and in your essence, but also in your body. That's very important. She shows me crystals, so many practices, so many things that you can do to increase that awareness of connection with yourself.
Specifically, I'm seeing like I'm seeing her placing her feet on sand. Like I don't know if there's like a little shallow box that she can get with sand. And I don't know why specifically it's sand and not like dirt, but sand would help.
Yeah, and she's showing me bloodstone, maybe in the sand, just like making this circle and placing a sacred shape around you too. Oh, sorry for that weird sound that I just made. Yeah, so many practices.
Yes.
What's important is that you continue to practice. Don't let that discourage you.
Yeah.
Next question from Kavita. Kalima, can you give clarity in what I had to heal in the country where I was born, but only lived until I was 2? And what is the lesson I'm not seeing and learning?
What is the name again?
Kavita.
Kavita?
I guess.
Yeah, maybe we're not pronouncing it right,
Yeah.
but
Okay. The first thing that she says is I'm seeing you connected to your home country and like such deep roots and cords connected to it. And what she's saying is that you will never lose those feelings, meaning that you're so deeply connected with your roots, where you come from. And it's important to understand your lineage. It's important, instead of shunning it, instead of trying to get rid of those feelings or cast it aside, to understand where you come from, understand the hurt and the pain and why that is showing up for your life. It is meant to empower you. It is meant to give you strength. It's not meant to belittle you or to cause you any harm. And to forgive, specifically, she's saying, forgive the captors, forgive and forgive the captives in your life as well. Everyone on all sides deserve to be forgiven, and forgive yourself. It's one second. She's saying that it's running away from your lineage may seem like the easy way to go, but in fact, you may need to face it head on. And in order to face what issues are coming up right now, because it will start to reoccur in your life every day. So, wow, my nose is watering.
mine too.
So she's saying that you will need strength. Use this strength. She's saying pick up your inner child and give her a hug. She's saying that it's triggering your inner child a lot. And as we've said before, remind your inner child that she's safe, secure, loved, and communicate with her, ask her what it is that she needs, and remind her that you are an adult and capable of taking care of her and having her be safe and loved. And remind yourself that you are safe and loved right now, and that you have everything you need to clear the pain and hurt and heartache that you were feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she continued this question with, what is the role of family and rules in all of this?
What is the role of family?
Yeah.
And rules?
In all of this.
Not getting any additional clarity. Is there anything that I
Yeah,
see?
I think she answered it already. I think even before asking, she already answered that part of the question.
Okay.
Let's see. Next question. This one?
How does one remember or recognize that she's a part of the priestesses? Oh, I have such a hard time with that word every time. Priestesses. Is that how you say? Priestesses of Isis. I'm gonna say it wrong next time. I'm gonna say it wrong again. Ouch. So she's saying that within your dream and the dreams that we share as humans on Earth and the practices of alchemy. So she's referring, whatever she's going to answer, sometimes they give like a disclaimer, whatever I'm going to answer is going to be within the dream. She's saying that whenever you feel that calling, you know. She say it has everything to do with trust and knowing that your guidance is going to tell you. And the whys is not important, and the hows, they're not important either. But just knowing that knowledge is within you, and you can access by trusting yourself and trusting your guidance, because those things are very particular to us. You know, all of us that are connected with the priesthood or well, I think that's the word, with that kind of alchemy that we practice. We say we've been practicing. we all have different points of connection with that, and different messages and different things that we master, within our own remembrances of God, within whatever it is that is serving us right now, and whatever it is that we can do to serve the collective and to awaken that remembrance in other beings. She's saying that there are so many modalities and so many different ways to perform alchemy, because alchemy is in everything. She's saying every breath that you take is alchemy. And she's saying that she's been initiating so many priests and priestesses and she's present within all of us. So she's saying that if you have that calling, if it's even in your awareness, you're one of them. And now she's taking the opportunity, she says, to just remind us of that, is that, first of all, it's very okay to want validation. She's saying that's why you manifest soul family. That's why you manifest friends and other beings that will just give you that kind of validation. That's why she's saying that's why you were born with mother, so they can love you, and then you can learn to love yourself. So she's saying it's a relationship, because that other being is just God in another body. It's still you. And it's very okay to want confirmation, to want validation. But she's saying it's the same thing as if when you are choosing any process, you need to choose a process, honor the process, and let go of the process. So if you keep needing validation all of the time, you are not trusting yourself ever. If you're using that validation to increase your trust in you, to increase your love, to increase whatever it is that you feel for yourself, then you're using it in a way that is beneficial for you. So it's not handicapping you. That's the word that she's using. But if you keep needing validation outside of you all the time, you're not looking inwards. And she's saying that God comes from here. God is not something that you will find out there. God is not something that isn't. She's saying God is all. So, but to be able to perceive God in all, you need to perceive God within you first. Otherwise, you will not see God in anything else. And she's using the word love now instead of God, because she's saying it's the same. So you will never find love outside of you if you can't love yourself, if you can't perceive yourself with love first, if you can't validate whatever information is given to you, even if it's ringing truth or not. Doesn't make sense. It's just, she's saying she's using the word symbiotic relationship within all of us, and everything that we do as one. So it's very important to rely on the trust that comes from God within, because every little piece of the puzzle that we create within this dream is important. It matters for us and our experience as the divine right now. So she's saying that trusting yourself and trusting your guidance is very important, and trusting your discernment too at times, because that's one of the things that we can have as a tool as humans. It is that we are living in a dualistic environment, so we can learn to experience and love all of those shadows and all of the lights, of ourselves. So then you will start perceiving it outside of you. So whenever we need a validation, she's saying it's valid to want to be validated, but how is this being beneficial for you at the time? So she's saying that it goes for everyone. It's not only that person that asked the question. She just wanted to get it out there.
Next question from Yolanda. How am I doing in my awakening? Is my present condition with my mom a part of my contract? Should I do anything different regarding my mom?
So when Kalima gets questions like this, she automatically turns it back around to you. She wants to remind you of oneness and wholeness, and that everything is already perfect. So first thing is, how do you think you're doing how do you believe you're doing? That's what she says. Can you repeat the next question?
Yes. Let me just find it again. Is my present condition with my mom part of my contract?
let's say that it's not. Would that change anything?
Mm-hmm. And should I do anything different regarding my mom?
She's being very right now. She's being like, what do you want to do differently with your mom?
Mm-hmm.
I love when they're sassy.
Yeah. I'm keeping an eye on chat to see.
And her reason for doing this is that
Mm-hmm.
she wants to remind you to inquire within yourselves about these questions too. And that it's not always necessary to go to some other being, in quotes, perceived being, to ask, but also trust yourself and trust the answers that come up within yourselves, because you will never go astray. You will never be wrong. Whatever you decide, then that's another journey, that's another path and lesson for you. So don't fear whatever answers come from within yourself. Why is it that people trust outside of themselves more than they trust the answers within themselves? And that is why she's being so, like, pointing it right back to you, reflecting it right back to you, because she wants to empower you, wants you to know that your inner voice is the most important. I could say whatever. I could say this contract is meaningless, just run away. Are you going to listen to me or to your inner voice? And it's important to develop that language within yourself, to develop that trust.
Yeah, I love when they do that, when they give the answer back to the person. I think it's very empowering. It's very loving of them too.
Kalima does that like 90% of the time, and then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What else? Give us something
There
else.
are some beings that do that a lot, and sometimes it frustrates people. I can see it in their eyes. If you are in session and they just circle around the person go like, "Oh my God, why did I even ask?" It's because they know that you have the answer.
Yeah.
They're just trying to push you enough to go there.
And part of life's journey is to figure out the answer on your own. Life won't be fun if we always give you the direct answers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I saw a meme yesterday of, when you ask for, when you cheat in school in a test and you ask for your friend for the answer, and then the meme is like when your friend is a life coach and you take the answer, but it's like the answer is inside of you.
Then you go like,
yeah, like, oh God.
Yeah, really.
I just came here for that.
So funny.
Yeah.
Next question is from Corey. She asks, how can we remember our dreams better? I swear I can remember it for only 10 seconds after I wake. Just not enough time to write it down.
I just wanted to, because Kalima said something additional.
Yes, it's okay.
She said it's important to trust yourself because every decision that you make is a unique part of your own essence. So when you listen to outside parties, which is fine, it's sometimes what you need in your journey, but you're also integrating their essence as well. And we are here as humans, as unique individuals with our own essence, with our own footprint. So when you make your own decision, when you communicate with yourself, when you develop your own inner language, you are putting your own essence out there, like your frequency just expands all the more. And so that's why it's important that we meditate, we ground, we're in our bodies, we are in communication with our higher selves instead of always turning to other people, because what she's saying is we almost like lose aspects of ourselves. We lose a little bit of ourselves in terms of not recognizing ourselves. And she wants us, instead of going to other people, which again is fine, sometimes you need to do that, but shining your own light, letting your own essence through. And less about if you're doing it right or wrong, but more about doing it and allowing yourself to shine, allowing your essence to go out there. So she's not turning it back on you to discourage you. There's a specific reason in terms of you're here on earth to, like a satellite, she's saying, like a huge star, like a sun. You're here to just put out your essence to the world and not to be afraid of that. Because even if you do things quote unquote wrong, you're putting your essence out there, you're learning from it, and you will tweak it as you go. And that cannot happen if you don't start. You have to start somewhere. So I think she just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. And Isis is adding that that's how you discern between a teacher that is serving you and a teacher that isn't. If that teacher is guiding you back to yourself, if the teacher is, and she is using the term teacher loosely, she says, it's just another expression of you that is helping you remember, but we call them teachers, she says. It is that teacher that keeps driving you back into yourself, even if it's catalyzing, even if it's triggering. They are constantly giving it back to you. You know that your power is not theirs. So if the teacher makes you feel powerless, if they make you feel like you need them, so then there's something that isn't balanced within that relationship. So she's saying that, as Kalima just said, it's okay to need confirmation. It's okay to need someone to help you sometimes and to guide you sometimes, but be aware of that person, you know, that will help you be guided back towards yourself and makes you feel empowered, and shy away from whoever doesn't do that for you. She's saying that that's another way to discern between what's serving you and what isn't in your journey.
And Kalima is saying we as a society have been stunned into not trusting ourselves. And even in the educational system, just learning to memorize words and do whatever the teacher says instead of asking questions, instead of inquiring, instead of saying, why is it this way? For what reason? How does our body feel? And the purpose, her purpose, is to remind you that you have all the answers. And it's not about good or bad answers. It's about answers in general and whatever comes out of you. And that's how we are creators as well. That's how we can illuminate our light.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a tangent. What was the question? I think that was important to say, though.
Yeah, exactly.
The question from Corey is, how can we remember our dreams better? She says, I swear I can remember it only for 10 seconds after I'm awake, just not enough time to write down.
Isis is saying that your vessel is very smart. Your body is very intelligent. And sometimes you don't remember because it will be too overwhelming for the body. Because she's saying that there are so many things that happen in our dream state that are way more true than what we're living here on Earth. And the brain has no reference point for whatever it was that you saw. So then you only remember those 10 seconds because that's what's serving you right now. So she's saying that that's why I say that your body is very, very intelligent. Those 10 seconds is all you need. So just rely on your vessel. She's saying again, rely on your steering wheel, you know, and knowing that whatever is coming to you is perfect. She's saying, what if we all wonder now if everything is exactly as it's supposed to be? Absolutely everything. As you designed. And this next second, she's saying, whatever it is that you're manifesting, it's exactly the perfect thing. Everything. And whatever it is that you try to manifest and doesn't happen, that's the perfect thing. What if we just start living that in our now? How much easier would life be? More simple, more connected, less strains, less resistance, less complications of the human mind.
Some quick advice on remembering your dreams as well is spend a few minutes in your bed right when you wake up just reflecting, and don't pick up the phone, don't do anything but just sitting and That should
Yeah,
help.
I think that most of the times we forget because we just start doing something else, or we just get up, or we just Isa is saying that light can flick something in your brain, so just laying in the dark and being present with that feeling. She's saying that most of the times when it's really important, when it's really something that's going to serve you in the night, you're going to feel it in the heart. Then it will be transformed in a vision or a remembrance or whatever. But what if we just start paying attention to how the body feels and what emotions come and all that, instead of wanting visions and things with the mind.
And easing into your day is what Kalima is saying.
Yeah.
My mouth is itching.
Your mouth is itching?
Yes,
Like the inside of your mouth?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I don't know how to,
Some tea.
Yeah, it's.
You're so weird.
I
That
know.
sounds very uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's like an itch in a place that you don't even know how to reach.
No, it's like in the roof of my mouth. It's weird. I don't know why.
Maybe someone wants to talk and you're repressing them.
Maybe.
Mm.
Let's switch. I'll be a facilitator.
No.
Let me be the facilitator. I rarely am.
You guys don't start. Okay. Next question that we have here on Patreon, I think is the last one from Patreon. It's from Florence. I think it's 3 questions. Do you want me to read them all and then I go back one by one, or read one?
Read one at a time, right? It's easier.
Because they are all connected.
Yeah.
They are all about the same thing. All the questions.
Read one at a time.
Okay. So the first one is, what is the spiritual purpose of my clothing brand?
Of my clothing brand?
Yes.
What was the question?
What is the spiritual purpose of my clothing brand?
You reacted the same way I did.
Like, what? Yeah, for a second I wasn't
away.
here, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I'm live on YouTube.
We're not laughing at the question, we're laughing at
our reaction. That was
ourselves.
just, exactly. Oh God. Because it was so at the same time, it was the same thing.
Okay, focus.
Yeah, coming back. What was the question, please? What is the meaning?
What is the spiritual purpose of my clothing brand?
I hear creativity, being creative.
Kalima is just restating, like, you're putting your unique essence out there and letting that radiate. It's less about what you are actually doing and more about the feelings that are coming out of whatever you are creating. So you can, let's swap out clothing brand for baking. If you have the same feelings and emotions that come out that you do when you're creating clothing or designing, then that's all good, she says. Then it's really about what you're allowing to radiate and the authentic feelings and emotions come out of it.
Yeah, expressing the divine is what Isis is saying. That's a way that you express your divinity.
The second question is, which spiritual and practical steps should I take with my business this year, and also to get financially successful after 10 years?
I don't understand the second part. Is she asking how to become financially successful?
After 10 years. Yeah, I think it's like in the next 10 years.
Or she's been doing this for 10 years?
No, I think.
Can you repeat it, please?
Yes.
Which
spiritual and practical steps should I take with my business this year, also to get financially successful after 10 years?
For the first part, Alima is saying to take yourself more seriously, including making sure that you have a practical plan for yourself in the now, she's saying, in terms of your business. What kind of support do you need? What's your business plan? Do you have a realistic plan, essentially, on how to stay afloat And I don't understand the second part of the question, but that's what Kalima said initially.
Mhm.
Yeah, Isis is saying that spiritually, it is again trusting. She's saying that's the theme for today.
Mm-hmm.
It is trusting yourself and
Yeah.
trusting your guidance and trusting that that special thing that is within you is coming out every time that you have a thought. So you're putting it out there. You're putting a piece of yourself out there. So the more that you love yourself, the more you will show that love outside of you, and the more people will be connected by it. Because she's saying that that's the thing that really connects us. It's within each molecule of your body. It's love. So the more that you love you, the more you love what you do, the more people feel it and the more they gravitate around it. So the more successful you be.
Mm-hmm.
And being authentic to yourself, not trying to do something, do like a model of business that someone else is doing it because it's working for them. You have something unique and special. What is that, and how can you realistically put it out there for people?
Kalima is stressing like the physical aspects of things in terms of taking action and putting yourself out there. The spiritual side of things is important, and it's all spirit anyway, right?
Yeah.
And but also like making sure that you're taking action as well, and not just sitting there waiting for things to happen, but also like making yourself visible and seen.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of times in this culture that we say like to our guides, okay, I did this, now make it happen, make 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of action on our part that's needed as well, because we are in the bodies. We can go out there and we need to do our part as well. Our guides will help, of course, but we are in bodies for a reason, and we're way more powerful than we believe we are.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of physical action on our part too, so that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
The last question is, my brand is called Setaya, which was actually a fantasy name. Does the name have a meaning?
Does it have a meaning for you? Right?
Which question?
That's all she's saying. She's saying whatever meaning it is, it's special, it's you, it's unique. Don't overthink it.
It does. It feels very comforting, very soothing, very placid, very peaceful.
Yeah.
Also, what you put into it as well. It's your imprint that you're putting into the word.
For some reason, I feel a lot of Lemuria in it. That's nurturing and loving and peaceful.
Next question is from Haley. Wait, she says. But if all is one, does it matter who you ask? Who you ask, whether it's your guides or your inner voice?
So that is an interesting thing about humans. So we each have our own energetic signature. We each have our own way of saying things. For example, as Ani and I have been channeling Kalima and Isis, and we've essentially been saying very similar things in very different ways.
Yes.
So it's all about what you're able to receive in that moment. And you may need to hear it 1,000,000 times before it really clicks.
Yeah. Yeah, and we all have roles that we play for each other. Not only the spirit guides and asking your inner voice or your higher self or God within you. We have so many names and so many labels. And Isaac says that we play this role together because for us it's fun. And yeah, we are all one. And yeah, we are all part of this one huge experiment here on Earth, and we are all part of this pool of energy that is always rotating and moving and flowing together. But we decide that it's fun for us to play these roles for each other. So that's why we call upon, let's say we call Isis and she's saying that also humans love their label so much that sometimes we prefer to listen it from an outside source. And she's quoting outside, so, oh, we invite Yeshua. So when Yeshua says it, it's very profound and you feel it. Or when Isaac says, or Kalima, or whoever. But when you listen it from your own guidance, you go like, huh, but is it my ego? Is it, so she's saying that again, trusting, and it's just the roles and the things that we created within this dream here of this universe that are those things that we can enjoy. She's saying it's just for our enjoyment that we play those roles.
Also, it can serve as like great confirmation for us in terms of like what we're hearing within ourselves, and then what we hear from others can serve as really great validation for those who are just starting to learn to communicate and listen to your inner self.
Yeah. And she is pointing us out, just putting us on a spot. It's like we are playing this role, of being a bridge, of consciousness, of being a bridge to just share those messages. It's something that everyone has. It's not like I'm special or I'm, all of us, we are special, but it's not like, oh, I'm different or I'm more special than anyone else because I can hear Isis or because I can translate whatever it is that she's showing me. It's just that I opened, and that's one of the roles that I play for the collective, such as you. And we all have something to offer and to play with.
That's interesting. That came up for me as I was getting ready in the bathroom right before we jumped on Zoom. That message came up as well.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Of course it did.
Of course it did.
How are you girls feeling? Like you're good to go on, or just?
I could do a few more minutes. Yeah, until 4:30. Well, I don't know what time it is. 6 more minutes?
Okay. 6 or 16?
6.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll get one more question. Or maybe 2 more, depends on how long the question, the answer is going to be. So another one from Neka, she asks, can they speak on some ways to use their soul alchemy symbols we got from you, or in general about using sacred geometry for our development?
I didn't. There was like 2 words that I didn't hear.
Soul alchemy symbol, was that it?
Oh, the ones that we are offering on our Patreon?
Yeah.
It's like an image equivalent of a source stone, basically, is what they are doing now. Can you read it again, please?
Can they speak on some ways to use the soul alchemy symbols we got from you, or in general about using sacred geometry for our development?
So Kalima speaks of meditating with the symbols and feeling into what emotions the symbols bring in. She wants me to mention in one of my meditations, I saw a symbol that I'd never seen before. And my immediate reaction was like to ask people, oh, have you seen this? Have you seen this? When really like, I can just tap back in to the source of the symbol and see how it is that it makes me feel. What is it that it's generating within myself? So that's her advice in terms of sacred symbols, because something may generate something within you and may generate something differently within someone else as well. We all have different languages and uses for symbols. So
yeah, they're very particular. Yeah, absolutely. How they make you feel is the most important part, she says. And however practice you choose to play with, it's also very particular to you. She says meditation, placing that in any alchemic process that you choose to do. Let's say astral traveling, if that's something that you're interested in, like using that as your sacred symbol. She's saying that they are also very activating. They're highly activating. So what is that first thing that you feel that is activating within you? So just work with that. And she's saying it's important not to neglect the little things. It's because we want that aha moment, you know, that as humans we constantly want that one thing that is like just giving me like a funny image, like angels coming from the sky and this light and the song, you know, it's like the chariots and all of that. It's like we are waiting for that to happen when God is there all the time.
Yeah.
So how is God showing itself to you through you?
Kalima showing like getting hit in the head, like getting hit in the head with a frying pan. But we don't always need that. That's
Yeah.
painful. So, yeah.
Exactly. Or it can be distracting, or it can be even scary, you know, depending on what is going to happen. So she's saying that God manifests itself through you all the time, in everything that you do, in everything that you say, in everything that you are. It's just a matter of how you choose to become aware of it and how you choose to use it in your benefit in your now. So she's showing me more practical things. Isis is very practical. She likes to give practical answers sometimes. She's showing me crystal grids. She's showing me like you printed the symbol and in a very big, she keeps showing me that, and it's kind of weird, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's like you print it or draw it in a very big sheet or whatever, and you're sitting over it as you are meditating.
What
As
I'm
if
seeing is being like printing it out and putting it here.
yeah, exactly. It's like printing it out, putting it on your head or laying down. It's like similar to sitting inside a copper pyramid, you know, the ways that the vortex and all of the activations that it's going to do, and working with every energy center. And she's saying that it's a very good way to manifest your light body in your physical body. So bring them together and really infusing all of your cells with the God molecule, with awareness, because it's always there. It brings awareness. There are so many things, guys. We could talk about it for hours.
Yeah. I'm very much about immediate response, like to the battle. Like if you saw the symbol and that already affected you, and something that I've observed in us in general, like in humans, is that when we start anything, we want to see the things happening. We want to have this aha moment, or something we could perceive better. But sometimes what the fact that it's having is just like our life is easier, or maybe, you know, you're not having too much trouble at work, or you're just flowing naturally and easily, and you're looking for something very specific, but you're just light, you're just fine, you're just perfect the way you are. And that's how the whatever, like the symbol is working with you. So maybe it's not your third eye opening and you're seeing a lot of beings around or anything like that, but just living light, living life as it should be, you know.
Yeah. And I was just saying that every time that you keep seeking something else, you are neglecting something that is right there in front of you.
And I'm saying that
not just neglecting, but also rejecting it too.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is not good enough. I want something more, something else. So it's like you are always telling yourself that you're not good enough, that God within you is not good enough. And it translates in so many things, like diseases or pains in the body, or any of those things that we end up manifesting to call our attention. She wants us to look at Indira's question. Is it okay if we do one more, Alanna?
Okay, so she says, I have been feeling pain in the right side of my lower belly. I have been working through my breathing. Does this Isis or Kalima have any message regarding this experience?
Indira, you said?
Yes.
What I keep seeing is the womb, and what is it that you're blocking creatively? Tapping in to see any practical advice. I'm seeing you stretching as well, and what she's saying is there is innate wisdom in you, but you don't believe it within yourself. And what is it that you can pull out of yourself into physical form, whether it's on paper, whether it's like you sculpting something. But what she's comparing it to is you pulling out this pain and transmuting it into something creative. Hopefully that resonates.
Yes, I was seeing the womb too, like the whole yoni, the ovaries and everything there, and something. It's like the energy is not moving, so it looks like a pressure cooker, and that's where the pain is coming from. And it has, Isis says that it's related to limitations that you put upon yourself and beliefs that you hold upon yourself, that you're not enough to do the work, and not believing yourself. And anything that, exactly what she said, I keep seeing the same thing. Anything creative that you do, it's like when you breathe and you move that energy, do something with that energy. Because the way that it is that you're just aware of it and you are breathing and sending, let's say, sending energy to that place. But the thing is that the energy is already there and is very active, so you need to do something with that energy. It's just your body telling you that it's time to move. It's time to invest in an idea that is particular to you. Something that is creative, that is very innate to you and very particular to you. She's saying that paintings with the colors of your soul, that's what she's referring it as.
And just like Kalima just wants to state a reminder to everyone that it's about starting, it's about doing. Don't worry about how it comes out. It's about the journey. It's about putting pen to paper, doing that first brushstroke, and not worrying about whatever outcome comes out, because it's all beautiful. The fact that we're on earth and we can create these things when there's so many other spirits and beings around us admiring what it is that we can physically manifest in this life is really powerful, and that's something that we should not take for granted any longer. So while instead of sitting and wondering and continuing to sit and wonder and being too afraid to make any movement, just go for it. Just do it. Remove the judgment that you have upon yourselves and create whatever it is that you want to create.
Yeah, Isa says that we paralyze ourselves so much worrying about the outcome instead of just taking that first step. So whatever is the first step for you, just go ahead and do that. Doesn't matter what's going to come. The only thing that matters is that you are always using that energy and always flowing with that energy. So then you will become more and more aware that that's your truth. That flow is always there. So you're never going to run out of ideas. You're never going to run out of inspiration. You are creative in your innate beingness, so I should say.
All right. So I think that's it for today. Thank you. Alanna, can you tell us again where people can find you?
Yes. My website is alannaheavenly.com, and I'm also on Instagram under the same name, and I provide personal one-on-one private sessions, and I do channelings on my YouTube as well. So yeah. Thank you, lovely ladies. This was great.
That was awesome. We should do
Yes.
that again sometime.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you very much for participating. Just wanted to mention that those soul alchemy symbols, that's something that we are still offering until we reach the 88 mark in our Patreon, and we are only 5 away. So if you want to join, now's the time. And we are sending those symbols. It's one symbol. It's like one alchemic symbol that represents your now and how you can work with your now. It always comes with an element. So each person received a different element. And so far, not one symbol was the same, from the other. It's very interesting. So if you want to join now, that's the time. So thank you very much for being here with us, for sharing your energy and holding space for us. And thank you so much, Alanna. That was so much fun. It's so beautiful. I loved working with you.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.